Yeah,
We wanted to get to this one, guys. Donald Trump has made an announcement yesterday evening. Boy.
Here we go.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. Thank you, kids. Thank you. All of you. Thank you. Thank you. So many incredible friends and family here tonight. It's such a beautiful thing. Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really easy, if you want to know the truth. You ought to try it sometime. Together, we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence, and the spirit of the American people. This is a movement. This is not for any one individual. This is a job for tens of millions of proud people working together from all across the land and from all walks of life, young and old, black and white, Hispanic and Asian, many of whom we have brought together for the very, very first time. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what's happened with Hispanic, with African American, with Asian, and just look at what's happening. This is a party that has become much bigger, much stronger, much more powerful, can do much more good for our country. This is a job for grandmothers and construction workers, firefighters, builders, teachers, doctors, and farmers who cannot stay quiet any longer. You can't stay quiet any longer. You're angry about what's happening to our country. Our country is being destroyed before your very eyes. It's a job for every aspiring young person and every hard-working parent, for every entrepreneur and underappreciated police officer who is ready to shout for safety in America. The police are being treated so badly. These are great people that can straighten out the crime. They're the ones that know how to do it. We have to give them back their respect and their dignity. This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
Boy. I hope the world is ready for Trump 2.0.
He is going to bring a fire.
Oh, man.
Like,
I mean, tell me, what's your honest opinion about this?
Okay, so he ran in 2016. I don't think he quite knew what he was getting into. In 2020, he had a little more idea of what he was getting into, so he started to play a little more hardball. Started to pull fewer punches. 2024, I think we're looking at a man who's got nothing left to lose. And he's not pulling any punches. He is going to go full bore. And anybody who gets in his way will be them. He's going to be in 2024 the type of person of you either get on board or you get out of my way because I'm going to steamroll you. Trump's done playing games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
I mean,
no other president has ever been attacked to the same degree or the same amount as Donald Trump has been. And I think what that has done, it has created a warrior spirit to the point where there's a level of getting back in revenge, but there's also a love for his country
hmm
that he now realized the tyrants were not playing.
hmm
His character was maligned, his reputation was under attack, his family was under attack, and after going after
constantly.
his home, his Mar-a-Lago home, and what they've done to him still cannot convince him of any specific crimes. And it's just that I think he came to a point where he is just fed up. You
Yeah.
know, I just don't want that to be the motivation to lead a country, because this has to be done with clear perception.
hmm
But if he can get off, I'm not saying he is. If he can get off a train of either anger or madness, which I don't think that's what's going on, to be honest, I don't think
Well,
so. But if he gets off that and actually put his mind and his heart and his soul in the work and fix the mess that has been created after he left office, I- regardless whether Trump wins or not, one thing I see for certain is that he's gonna go down as one of the greatest president ever in the
hmm
United States. It's just that's something nobody can take it from him. You can attack his character, which I have an issue with. Uh, I have an issue with some of his verbiage. I have an issue with some of the many things, but I can't go against his presidency and the effectiveness of his work. To do that is to be dishonest. The man did do the job so much better than the current one in office right now.
but on that token, don't you think a man's character is known by his works?
Absolutely. Yes, I agree.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, you're saying you question his character.
Yeah, the character
I
that I
mean,
mean, the character is it has a lot to do with, like
granted, you may not agree with the way he presents himself
yeah,
sometimes and the way
yeah.
he speaks,
Yeah, that's what I
but
mean by
really
character.
that's what a lot of his base love about him is he's not a politician. He
Yeah.
doesn't speak like a politician. If he says something, he means it, and he speaks his mind, and that's what we love about him. He wears everything on his sleeve.
Yeah. So I'm wondering now, is the Republican Party going to put aside their differences and rally either behind Trump or Ron DeSantis if he runs for presidency? Because he looks like Ron is looking exceptionally well right now. But one thing I have an issue with, I noticed that Trump is doing a little bit of jabbing at Ron, which I can understand why.
Well,
The
here,
reason I can understand it, when you read the Bible,
I don't.
there was King David and
Okay.
King Saul. I'm not sure if you know those two kings.
y-
King Saul was doing his work for such a long time, and King little David came and killed Goliath, and the women said, Saul killed 1,000, David killed 10,000. And the idea was, hey, I've been doing this thing for such a long time.
mhm,
How is the new guy getting more love and attention than I am? So
mhm.
I'm just saying, it seems like that's kind of what's happening here in Trump's heart. Is almost like Ron DeSantis is only ruling one state. He's doing a great job,
Not exactly.
getting so much. I mean, from what I've heard, but he's getting so much attention and praise from the Republican Party when Trump says, I've been doing so much more for four something years, and my work has been so much more effective. And many of his party are somewhat in opposition to him. So I can see why he feels that way. That Trump and that David and Saul complex fits perfectly from my perspective.
So the thing is with between the DeSantis Trump thing, is DeSantis has been having meetings with the GOP super PAC behind closed doors, behind Trump's back, and
Mm,
Trump knows about it.
okay, that's interesting.
So
So
Trump.
some are saying that DeSantis is like another playing candidate who is
So
just playing politics.
exactly, he's
He knows
he's
he's good at the
trying
game.
to play the game,
Yeah.
whereas Trump is an outside force of the game, trying to break the game.
A lot of things that Trump does out front, people oppose. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But oftentimes, have you noticed one thing with Trump? There's a pattern.
Mhm.
He may go crazy. He may say some things that you don't agree with. If you give it enough time, you find out, wait a minute, he was right. I
He's
remember,
usually 5 steps ahead of everybody.
yeah, when I remember when he early in his presidency in 2018, when he said that the whole system is rigged, right? He said
Mhm.
the media is fake news. People were saying, man, you crazy. And then we were there and said, wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of fake news in the media. I'm like, oh my goodness. So he
Gee,
knew
go figure.
what he was talking about. And when he said it, people were like, you crazy. You can't be saying stuff like that. And I know sometimes he over exaggerate in some things he says. He takes it a step further. He says
Mhm.
much more than there actually is. But if you will peel back your disagreement with his statement and not trying to curtail his language so much and just listen to the heart of the message, I'm
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. He wasn't lying. He
Mhm.
was saying these things were hoax. He was saying climate change is a hoax. And he called them out. And he's like, as people check it out over time, they're like, yo, Trump is right again.
Mhm.
Trump is right again. Some people say he was extreme about it, but
And
you can
and
say
look
whatever
at
you want.
and look at his press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. Every time she'd come out, the press would try to press her on these certain topics and try to catch her in a flip up or
She
a mess
was
up,
she
but
was good,
she
man.
was always on point with every single detail and be like, wait a minute, hold on, I got this in my notebook. Nope, right here, you said this and this, and it was wrong.
Yeah. Unlike Corinne Jean Pierre or
Or
Circle Back Girl,
oh, good lord.
who seems to
Yeah,
they
just avoid
talk
the
a
question.
good talk,
No, they
and
don't even
Corinne,
talk a good talk. They
but
just
yeah,
don't
it's like
answer the
like you
question.
call the word salad the mind
Yeah,
suit thing. Yeah.
word mind soup.
Well, you're
It's
like, you
just
didn't answer the question. I never heard about that. Oh, we never discussed it. I'll come back to you, which
yeah,
means never.
exactly. But I mean, and that's the thing about Trump is that most people don't understand is he likes to be ahead of the game. He likes to
Mm,
be steps ahead. The problem he had in his first presidency is he trusted the wrong people. He
I've heard
trusted
that.
he trusted people that were part of the establishment,
Yeah, they went against him.
and they pretty much stabbed him in the back from day one. So what he needs to do is take that lesson, and that's the thing is he's a fast learner. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with that. I'm
And
excited to figure it out.
like,
Regardless whether he wins or not, for me, I'm just like, I just can't wait to watch those debates. I just can't. I mean, the world is gonna be like on standby,
oh,
all hands on deck.
these
Hold your
debates are going to be
breath.
fire. These are going to be some fire
hold,
debates.
hold your breath, boy. We are about to see some serious stuff in 2024. I hope I'm alive to see it because it's gonna be one of those things you're like, yo, I can't believe what I'm watching right now. And if
Like,
Ron DeSantis decide to run, it's gonna be between one of those two guys, and I'm gonna be sitting
oh
there
no.
like,
Trump says he's got dirt on him that even Ron DeSantis's wife doesn't even know. So
you don't, you can't be
he,
serious.
oh yeah, that was one of the whole things that really got everybody's up in arms about Trump about attacking DeSantis is the fact that supposedly he's got dirt on DeSantis that DeSantis's wife doesn't even know, and that he said
Mm.
if DeSantis even thinks about running for president in 2024, he'll expose it on a national stage.
Oh no way.
Hmm.
All right, let me give a Bible verse so we can move to our next
Like
video.
Trump is not playing games this time around. I am telling you, he is out for blood.
Oh man, I'm excited to see where this is going. I'm gonna put a verse on the screen. I'm gonna put it in the chat and then I'll pull it up on the
Okay.
screen. That's another good way to do it too. There it is. This is from Daniel chapter 2:21, guys, and he says, God changes the times in a season. He removes kings and set up kings. He gives wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So take it or leave it. And this was in the context of dealing with Nebuchadnezzar and his dream of that metal image in Daniel 2. And God needed to remind Nebuchadnezzar, listen, I'm in charge. I remove kings. I set up kings. Ultimately, this compass, that political compass, is in God's hands. And I mean, we can vote. We should vote. But I'm just saying, ultimately, just remember who is really on the throne. And he is. And if he chooses Mr. Trump to be president again,
It'll be.
it shall be. There is no power on earth. There is no devil in hell who can stop it from happening. I'm just saying, brace yourself. Uh, I'm just excited to see where this is
Either
going.
way, the race, it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, I'm just so glad to be alive in this stage of the world. And I can't believe, like Jesus says, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they will be glad to see your days. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you get to live in a time right before the end of the world, and you watching all this stuff happening in the political landscape. And like, we are living in the end of times, of course, but it's like when you're seeing how it's all happening in front of your face, I was like, Lord, I can't believe I'm alive to see it all, To me, I'm just like, I can't wait to see what 2024 looks like, man. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just gonna brace myself and I'll make my way to the polls, and I just can't wait to hear what these policies are like. And yeah, man, something great is about to happen. Yeah, I'll stay quiet.
But yeah, is a side note here in the eSword. It says, but what movement is afoot in our times, which is likely to give to all nations what Abraham Lincoln described as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So
Go ahead. You can move on with the next.